Hello there. We are back for our next lesson for this week, week number 38. We are going to be finding multiples of fractions. This is module 16, lesson 2, so make sure you have that packet out in front of you so that way you can follow along with the work that I am doing on the video, so your work can you can do the work as well. So remember last time we were multiplying whole numbers by unit fractions. This time we're going to be multiplying a whole number and a fraction, but our numerator is not going to be a 1. It might be something different. So we're still going to be applying the same strategy. This same work will be done. It's just instead of a 1 as our numerator, we're going to have any number of different digits up there as our numerator. So Carl participates on a youth wheelchair basketball team. The team practices 3 times a week after school for 3/4 of an hour. So we're going to use multiplication to figure out how long Carl's basketball team practices every week. So if he practices 3 times a week, and every time that they practice for 3/4 of an hour. And we want to know how much they practice in a week. So we're using the same strategy, the same skill. We're going to take our numerator and multiply it by our whole number. So 3 times 3, and that's all over the fraction 4, all over fourths. Because this would be just like saying 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4. But instead of writing that all out and then adding it together, 3 plus 3 plus 3, right, is 9/4. We can just multiply 3 times 3 equals 9. And then our numerator is 4th. So they practice 9/4 hours every week. So remember, we're just going to take our whole number, multiply it by our numerator. That gives us our new numerator, but our denominator will always stay the same because it's always going to be out of that same amount of pieces in each whole. Okay? So we are going to be snowboarding. So Jesse is part of a snowboarding team. It takes 3/10 of an hour to take the ski lift to the top of the mountain. While preparing for a competition, Jesse takes the lift to the top of the mountain 4 times. How much time does Jesse spend on the ski lift? So we're not going to represent with fraction strips. We're just going to do the multiplication because we are smart and we know what to do. So we know he's going to go up 4 times. Every time it takes 3/10 of an hour. Now, yes, we could add 3/10 plus 3/10 plus 3/10 plus 3/10, right? But this is going to be a lot quicker, especially because we know our multiplication facts. So 4 times 3 all over 10. 4 times 3 equals 12, and then our denominator is tenths. So he spends 12/10 hours on the ski lift. And we can cross off A, B, and C. We'll just do the work in the box because we know we can do that. Ulrich is training for a race. He runs without stopping for 2/3 hour each day for 4 days. How many hours does Ulrich train altogether? All right, so we're skipping out on that number line. We're going to write down our equation. So we know he's running without stopping 2/3 of an hour every day for 4 days. So our multiplication equation would be 4 times 2/3 equals, and then we want to know how many hours. So our H. How long does he train? Well, 4 times 2 over 3. 4 times 2 equals 8/3. So he trains 8/3 hours. And again, remember the label is whatever the label is with the fraction. Not, you know how I always say it's with whatever the number is, but he's not practicing 8/3 days. He's practicing 8/3 hours. So you need to make sure that you're using, if we have a whole number multiplied by a fraction, you're using the label for the fraction. Okay? And we're not going to worry about letter D. Okay, number 1, check for understanding. Gracie is in charge of running the timing clock at a race. The time clock uses batteries that weigh 3/4 pounds each. If the timing clock uses 4 batteries, what is the weight of all the batteries? So we have 4 times 3/4 equals our 4 times our 3 is 12, and we keep our denominator. So they weigh 12/4 pounds. Alrighty, find the product. 5 times 3/4. 5 times 3 is 15, and then 4 is our denominator. Now for this one, they want us to write the first 4 multiples of 3/8. So we're just going to be skip counting by 3/8. So we're going to start with 3/8. What comes next? Well, when I'm counting by 3's, the next number would be 6, right? So then I'd have 6/8. The next number would be 9, so we have 9/8, and then 12, so we have 12/8. So when they want the multiples, you're just skip counting by whatever number is on your numerator. So for this, in this case, it would be 3/8, 6/8, 9/8, 12/8. Because if you were just to count by 3's, 3, 6, 9, 12. So we have to keep our denominator because that's the fractional part that they are all out of. Okay, so the independent work, you can do this and come back and check your answers, or stay right with me and we'll do this together. Sam is building a table. He needs to cut 4 pieces of wood that are each 5/6 yard long. What is the length of wood Sam needs for the table? So he's cutting 4 pieces and each piece is 5/6 yard long. So 4 times 5/6 equals 4 times 5 is 20, and then we keep our 6 for a denominator. 26, and there's our label, yards. One thing I want to point out also, notice I'm adding an S to the end. The reason why I'm adding an S to the end is because I have a bigger numerator than I do denominator. So it's an improper fraction. That means I'm going to have more than just 1 yard. 1 yard would be 6/6, right? And because this is 26, that's why I added an S. Notice up here there's no S because the numerator is smaller than the denominator. So this would be less than 1 yard, so 5/6 yard long. And then anything more than 6/6 would be yards. So that's when you add your S, is anytime your numerator is bigger than your denominator. Just a little hint to put that in there, just in case you were curious or wondering why we're doing that. Yvonne is making baskets to help raise money to feed the homeless. She includes 1/2 pound of pecans in each basket. If she makes 5 baskets, how many pounds of pecans does she use? Don't worry about our number line. We're just going to do the work. 5 baskets times 1/2 pound equals 5 times 1 is 5 over 2. So 5/2 pounds. We're going to add that S because our numerator is bigger than our denominator. Number 6. Tammy trains dogs. She feeds each dog 2/3 pound of food every day. If she is training 5 dogs, how much food does she need for 1 day? So we have 5 dogs, 2/3 pound of food every day for each dog. 5 times 2/3. 5 times 2 is 10. So we have 10/3 pounds. All right, 6 times 3/10. 6 times 3 is 18. So we have 18/10. Oh, sorry. I don't like it when they do this, but anyway. So this would be 18 times 1/10, which means it's 18/10. I apologize for that. I wasn't. See, that's what happens when you don't actually look at everything and you just jump right in, right? See, we make mistakes too. Lots of them. I make lots of mistakes. So 3 times 7 is 21, and we're multiplying that by our eighths. So we have 21/8. end, we want the first 4 multiples. So remember, we're skip counting by our numerator. So we would start with 7/10. What will come after 7/10 would be 14/10, right? That's the next one if I'm counting by sevens. And then the next fraction would be 21/10. And then our final one would be 28/10. So I'm skip counting by 7. And then it's all tenths. So here we want the first 4 multiples of 3/12. So we have 3/12, 6/12, 9/12, 12/12. Alrighty. So independently, you can cross off number 3. You do not have to do number 3. And you can cross off number 11. You do not have to do number 11. Okay? So 3 and 11, you do not have to do. I hope to see you all soon. And have a fabulous rest of your week. Stay cool. Bye, everybody.